They told you that making fun of black people in watermelon was just a harmless joke. But after slavery, watermelon was a symbol of black freedom, fast profits, no overseers, no permission. That reality terrified white America. So they launched a war of postcards, cartoons, and films to poison the image and turn freedom into humiliation. If you think this stereotype was an accident, you are about to learn why the real threat was black independence and why the joke still hurts. Long before the stereotype, watermelon was a secret sign of hope. Enslaved Africans carried watermelon seeds across the Atlantic, holding a piece of home even as everything else was stolen. Watermelon thrived in the southern heat. On the edges of plantations, people carved out hidden patches, small plots tucked behind cabins and along fence lines, where they grew what they could call their own. These gardens were not just food, they were quiet acts of rebellion. Growing watermelon meant carving out a sliver of control, a taste of freedom no overseer could take away. Some families taught their children how to save seeds, how to hide a sprout, how to sell a melon for a few coins at market. That money did not go back to the plantation. It bought shoes, it bought dignity, it bought a future that was not owned by somebody else. Watermelon was more than a crop. It was a password, a way to say I have something of my own. After emancipation, those skills exploded. Freed men and women took what they had learned in hidden gardens and turned it loose. No overseer, no permission, just land, seeds, and the promise of life under their own name. Every watermelon patch was a declaration. I am free and I feed myself. That is what made watermelon dangerous to the old order, not the taste, the independence. Watermelon was not just a symbol, it was a business plan. In the hands of black men and women, it became quick cash. You could plant a seed in spring and be selling sweet, heavy melons by the middle of summer. 80 days, maybe 100 if the weather turned. No cotton field could match that speed. No white boss could touch that money. Markets in the South filled with black vendors, some with wagons, some with nothing but a basket and a loud voice. They set up on corners, at crossroads, at the edge of every fair and festival. Buyers lined up, coins changed hands, and the profits stayed in black pockets. No middleman, no overseer, just hustle and sunburn and the taste of independence. The fruit was cheap to grow, but it sold fast. For every melon, a new pair of shoes, a school book, a Sunday hat. Watermelon money built lives. It was loud, public proof that you did not have to wait for permission or a paycheck from a white man to get paid. That is what made the old order nervous. Black people were not waiting for handouts or scraping by on leftovers. They were running their own show out in the open, and the money was real. The streets did not just smell like watermelon, they smelled like freedom with a price tag. That is the part nobody wanted to talk about. In 1869, a single drawing in Frank Leslie's illustrated newspaper flipped the script. It was not random. It showed black people crowded around a pile of watermelons, mouths wide, faces exaggerated. Joy turned into mockery. This was not about the fruit. It was about sending a message. Black freedom would be ridiculed, not respected. The ink was barely dry on emancipation papers, and the backlash was already in print. That cartoon sparked a gold rush for racist souvenirs. By the 1880s, postcards and trade cards flooded the market. Printers from New York to New Orleans cashed in. They churned out thousands of cards showing children with sticky faces, adults grinning through oversized slices, rinds tossed at their feet. No one had to coordinate. The business was too good. These images sold everywhere, at drugstores, in mail order catalogs, on the racks at train stations. You could send a watermelon card from Georgia to Chicago and get a laugh from anyone who saw it. Cash changed hands, and the image spread. Publishers did more than ride a trend. They built an industry. Postcard printers made sets, one card for every stereotype, a watermelon on nearly all of them. Artists copied each other, racing to add more mess, more greed, more cartoonish grins. These were not jokes. They were mass-produced insults. Shipped by the crate, bought by the bundle, pinned to kitchen walls and pasted in scrapbooks. The stereotype became an object, a product, a punchline you could hold in your hand. The message was clear. If black people could not be stopped from selling watermelon, then their pride in it would be turned into shame, one postcard at a time. Hollywood got in on the act early. Studios like Edison and Universal churned out short films with the same joke: black people fighting, stealing, or slobbering over watermelon. In 1901, Edison's A Watermelon Feast showed black men brawling over a stolen melon, teeth and sticky hands. The audience howled. Studios knew exactly what they were selling. By 1915, D.W. Griffith dropped the hammer with The Birth of a Nation. In one scene, newly freed black legislators, played by white actors in blackface, abandoned their duties to devour watermelons, juice running down their chins. The message was plain as day: give black people power, and they will turn Congress into a picnic. That film played for millions. It fueled the Klan and rewrote history with a laugh track. Political cartoonists were not far behind. Newspapers printed images of black voters clutching watermelon, mouths wide, eyes wild, ballots forgotten. The joke was cruel and simple. If you wanted to make black freedom look ridiculous, you drew a watermelon. In election years, these cartoons spread like wildfire. The fruit was not just a punchline. It was a weapon used to smear black voters as childish, greedy, too foolish for democracy. Every melon in print was a warning. This is what happens when you let them vote. Dr. Jovan McAllister says Southern whites, threatened by black people's newfound freedom, responded by making the fruit a symbol of uncleanliness, laziness, childishness. They could not stop black people from growing watermelon, so they tried to poison the meaning. That is psychological warfare, dressed up as a joke. Humiliation was the real weapon. They did not outlaw watermelon. They made it embarrassing. Every joke, every cartoon, every movie scene was designed to dig deep, to make black people second-guess a fruit that once meant freedom. Shame did what laws could not. People stopped buying watermelon in public. Kids were taught not to eat it at school. Families skipped it at picnics just to dodge the sting. The stereotype worked so well, most people forgot why it hurt. The trick was simple: erase the real story, and what is left is the punchline. Black pride in watermelon was flipped into a warning: do not stand out, do not give them ammo. The damage did not stop at laughter. It stuck around, invisible, turning joy into hesitation. Psychological warfare, and it is still doing its job. Today, the fruit that was used to shame is being flipped right back. Black chefs, artists, and TikTok creators are slicing watermelon on camera with pride, turning the old joke into a badge of honor. Juneteenth cookouts have watermelon salads front and center. No apologies. Viral videos break down the real story: how watermelon came from Africa, how it fueled survival and built black wealth. Hashtag Reclaim the Melon racks up millions of views, and every post is a clapback at the stereotype. The message is clear. You cannot erase history by making it a punchline. The fruit that once meant "I don't need your permission" still means it. If they had to destroy watermelon just to keep black people in their place, what else did they try to take? This is not just history. This is a challenge. Even now, stereotypes built to shame black freedom still echo through jokes and pop culture. That is not accidental. It is engineered forgetting. If weaponizing watermelon worked so well, what other symbols of black power were flipped into punchlines? Name them. Call them out. Drop your thoughts below. Let's name what they tried to erase.